Hey guys, and welcome back. This is Dro, back with Dro's Desktop's VODs analysis. Sorry, VOD reviews. No script, don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, let's get into this game here. It's going to be NRG versus TSM in the Week 3 NA LCS. So, let's start playing. You can hear that. That should not be a thing. 1 second, technical difficulties. Okay. So, getting into the game here, we can see the Lulu being banned, and then the Gangplank. I will have a video later with all the picks and bans off the NA LCS being uploaded today. Oh, pardon me. It's going to be called Drafts of the Week, and I hope people will like it. Please tell me what you think of that idea when it's out. You know, feedback much appreciated. So the Corki comes in. I'll just go over a brief overview. I won't touch much up on the drafts. I like the Corki. The Alistar's now being allowed to ban on the red side because NRG banned Lulu, which I don't agree with. Lissandra's fine. I still don't think you should ban the Lulu here. This should force the Tam Kench ban from TSM, because it should be Tam Kench, Gangplank, and Lulu are the 3 bans. It should be the Tam Kench. There he is, Tam Kench. So they've got rid of most of the kind of first power picks, but the Poppy's still up, and Poppy's just a great flex pick if nothing else is really on the board. So Poppy comes out. I much prefer the Poppy on the blue side because it gives you a better flex, less kind of, you know, if you pick a Graves, it's going into one of 2 lanes. If you pick a Poppy, it's kind of, you know, you can go in 3 places. I like Poppy. Unless your team's not very flexible with it, like TSM's not very flexible with the Poppy, and I don't like that. You probably, the problem with this is another point okay, so they are going for that. Are they going to lock in the Elise? Do they lock in the Elise? Because I was about to make a point about how I didn't feel top lane would. Yeah, okay, so that's my point completely gone. I was about to make a point saying I don't feel like the Graves flex pick is that great, but here I don't like it because they haven't flexed it. The whole point of picking a Graves here is you're like, is it jungle? Is it top lane? Well, we'll find out later in the draft. But now they've just gone, nah, mate, it's jungle. So what this Elise then does is it means that NRG get the stronger pick of Rek'Sai. I think Rek'Sai is just a flat better jungler than Elise. Because people, the problem with Elise is she's literally just a cocoon with a bit of damage. So my issue is you can't build her as a threat. She'll never be that much of a threat. She can do a bit of damage, but not like, you know, she's not a carry. While you can't really build her tanky. You build her tanky, but she's never going to be a tank. Well, Rek'Sai can get a lot tankier than a Elise can, and provides more kind of more sustainable CC, more, you know, I'd say more wave clear, I'd argue, with her kind of spin. And they also pick up the illusion. But yeah, like I just prefer Rek'Sai over Elise. I think with the amount of vision the Rek'Sai gives as well. So they lock in the Caitlyn and the Braum. I don't like the Braum here. Why don't I like the Braum? Basically, I don't like the Braum here because, yeah, basically what TSM's done is with their draft they've gone double AD carry and a non-tanky jungler, so they have to take this Braum. See, what I would have done is if you take your AD carry, I think in your first rotation, if you take Graves and you stick him in the jungle and then you take your Braum, you basically say, okay, well, you know, we've got, you know, you can take which of the junglers you prefer. We'll pick up the scraps, or we'll take something else that's a bit tankier, but we've got this flex pick. And they don't use the flex pick properly. They give it away with their first rotation. And even if NRG do take the Elise, you've got the Rek'Sai. So in the next rotation. So I mean, I don't like that. And they're kind of forced into the Braum because they need frontline. Alistar's off the table and Tahm Kench is off the table, so it's kind of the next best thing. So they end up taking the Janna and the Zilean. The Zilean will be mid lane. I'm really excited for this pick. I watched a game this morning from Korea where they used it, and I'd thought this might make a return in the preseason, but not with the things that I saw earlier, what they were doing with it, and it's really exciting, and I might go through some of the strategies you go through with it. But here, so basically what TSM now need to do, and which I don't think they do, I think they pick Victor. What you now need to do is you need to take the Zilean and you need to completely abuse him. You've got a little bit of wave clear with the Graves and the Caitlyn. They're okay, like you can kind of deal with that, but you now need something that just completely abuses this Xerath, not Xerath, this Zilean, and they don't do that because their draft has been pretty weak by focusing in on this top lane Graves. So they end up getting countered by NRG by saying we'll have wave clear, we'll be fine, and TSM get punished for it in this respect because they have to take the AP wave clear here. So it's a free Zilean with a dive heavy comp with the Janna for the peel. It's a really nice comp. And Lucian just kind of rounding everything off by being this kind of... Lucian's this steady kind of AD carry where he's never bad, but he's never the best. So he's like 75% all the way through the game. Like, he's never bad at all. Like, a lot of AD carries come into the game either being like the best and then a bit worse, and then end up like 50%. So they end up like kind of with an average of about 70. If you think about like every player in every position and every champion has like 75% as their base. So like for example, this Zilean is really poor early game, so he's about 30, but then quickly like spikes up to 100 once he reaches like level 9 and gets an item or two. So they're going to get into the game here, and I'll explain what the Zilean does when we get into the game. Can I skip forward? Can I skip forward? I can't do it with the arrows. So here we go. I don't know why there's a green bar here, but apparently there is. Okay, so standard starts here. We've got NRG with the defensive scrim. NRG are going to want to play and farm a bit for the Zilean. TSM are going to look for mid-game power spike, looking into sieging, but they've got to siege into a Zilean, and that's quite hard, and a Lucian as well. So this is going to be quite difficult, and it's TP Zilean as well. So this is why again I don't like the Caitlyn pick. You siege with Caitlyn, but you don't really do anything boss, like kind of auto the turret, which I know is important. I think she's a better pick than Tristana. But I think there's like better picks to actually, because like you want to push people away from the tower so you can take the tower, and I don't think Caitlyn is as good as that. I think Varus is a better pick in my opinion, or even Ashe. And Caitlyn's just she's got her traps and stuff. She's great for zoning that way, but I mean the Caitlyn like they don't have like, if they had Trundle Caitlyn in my opinion would be a better kind of thing. The reason I don't like this Braum as well is it doesn't really counter anything on the side of NRG, but you know, that's neither here nor there. It's like, so what? So NRG are going to look to they're looking to lane swap here, but both teams are lane swapping, so it's fine. Graves is going to look for an early advantage against the Poppy. The Rek'Sai is going to look to farm with a slight emphasis on ganking, and the Elise is going to look to get one of the lanes ahead with, you know, slight emphasis on farming. And the Rek'Sai is going to look for more vision, just protecting until the mid game, and it's going to be all good from that point. So the Lucian's just going to want to keep his items up basically. And not get bullied too hard in the lane. This is what I mean about like some drafts. They're not willing to play around what's meta and what they think's meta. And 1 second, I'm gonna sneeze. Sorry about that. So a lot of players will basically just look to win the lane with a Caitlyn pick, with a Lucian, and sometimes it's just not applicable. So who got the scuttle crab there? It was the Moon. Okay, so well played by Moon there, getting the scuttle crab. That's very important for the early clear. He's still really healthy. That's very nice. So unless the jungler puts pressure on the mid lane, it's going to be a farm palooza because Zilean's not going to do anything, and Victor has kill pressure, but he kind of needs to wear you down. That's really good bomb placement. He shouldn't have gone in for that auto trade. He ended up losing that, like kind of going even on that trade. But yeah, because Victor has more mana. Oh, sorry about my nose. I just started sneezing just as I went on air. So TSM are looking to bully the top lane, rotate from the advantage they get into this and take other towers. And NRG are just looking to wave clear with the Zilean, get an item on him or so, and then just start sieging. Here come TSM looking to dive the Lucian and the Janna, but they've got a Janna, so they're pretty safe. And the Zilean's got a TP, while the mid laner on TSM does not. So they've always got the TP advantage of an extra TP, and they managed to get him out there. He shouldn't have gone aggressive there because he doesn't know where the jungler is. But it's, you know, it's not the worst. You've got Janna, you'll always win trades unless Braum gets a cheeky stun off. Yeah, they really shouldn't have, unless they know that the Elise isn't coming, they shouldn't have gone in for that trade. You should never go in for trades and things and all ends like that, unless you know that you're probably going to be safe, like 99% sure. So I feel like the Elise rush Swifties here just to get around the jungle faster and to try and be more of a pain. Clear and gank faster, but I mean, Rek'Sai's already doing Rek'Sai things. He's already starting to get the vision, and Bjergsen goes too far up, thinking he's too safe. It's a really good gravity field though. Forces the flash. That's a really good counter gank, and Bjergsen outplays both of them, but he shouldn't have got himself in that position anyway. Ugh, sorry about sniffling. Really good counter jungling here, pressuring the Rek'Sai, but I mean it's Rek'Sai, like you're not gonna do that much damage to the Rek'Sai to, you know, she's just gonna keep doing what she do. So the Lucian's gonna keep farming. He's a bit down in CS, but I think he has a better mid game than Caitlyn. Impact should know that Elise has pathed down to the bot side and shouldn't be here. He shouldn't be this far forward. He should be waiting by his tower. It's a really good pathing by Rek'Sai here to come in for the gank. They can't choose. Who are they going to show? Oh my god! Impact should have used his W on the Elise jump in there. He would have saved himself a bit of health. I don't know if he could actually. Might have been stunned. Oh wow, that's a really good stun. It's a really nice poppy stun there. Does he dodge the ult as well? Okay, Haunts dodges the ult. That's a really nice. It's a really nice kind of trade there. Like Graves still has his ultimate. He managed to dodge the poppy ult. He would have been dead if he hadn't dodged the poppy ult. That was a really, really nice stun. And a really good E away to avoid the rest of that. I had no idea what happened on the top side there. But if you look at the, I mean, Elise is just camping this side of the thing. But I mean, Elise is so squishy, and this is why I just don't like Elise, because you're just naturally not strong at any point. Oh, really good dodge. So they burn his flash, so that means that TSM should be putting pressure now on bot side for this Graves even more, and this should signify that NRG should just completely focus down this side of the jungle, take it all, and they are putting the vision out, so they can do that with these kind of high efficiency wards. I like to call them, like they're in bushes, or they're in like around bushes that just kind of they show more. And they show more of the jungle. That's really bad pathing by Yellow Star there. He just got a bit lazy. You should understand that the jungler's not on the map. They're probably going to be on this side because Elise is prioritizing bot side, so that's really bad. and they take his ward. That was a good series of events there. And Elisa's pathing to go and get the red buff because she knows hers has been stolen, or probably will be stolen. So who's winning in the mid lane? Victor's winning, but Victor has the early power spike. He's going for tier, and I think he should go for Rod of Ages after that to survive the Victor. But I mean, okay, it's a 4-man gank in top lane here. They're going to get him. Yeah, that's a really well tower dodge there. It's a really good gank. They're 5-man to the top. Don't lose anyone in the process. They should take this tower. TSM really don't have much of an answer now. This was a really smart dive because the Grazer's going to have to mad push. Like, they're going to have to get mid or whatever to even this out. Was the Zilean necessary there? I don't think he was. They might actually lose 2 towers for this, which doesn't really make it that worth. I really wouldn't. Okay, so they don't. Okay, so now it's worth. They get more. I don't know. He dodges. If they get the mid tower, TSM's won this. But if not, then NRG's won that. Okay, they do not get the tower, so NRG win that that little play. Oh no, they didn't get the tower. Well, TSM won that then. NRG didn't need to send the people mid. Didn't need to send the mid laner. He walked as well. I don't think he needs to come to this. That's complete miscommunication there by Double Lift and Yellow Star. That's really poor because they both have different ideas. Yellow Star's like, we need to run, and uses his ult to do that, while Double Lift's like, I'll play them under the tower. So TSM need to know that this mid tower is going to die, and they need to play around this now. They should. If this was me, I'd just send like. I'd literally just send my Caitlyn into the mid lane, shove it in really quickly, and just 3 autos and kill it. And then you've alleviated so much pressure on the map. But they don't choose to do this. Like, this would take like 2 minutes to do. That's a really nice ward right on the edge of the bush. You should always try and place your wards on edges of bushes so they get around corners. Poppy farming. I think Poppy will be a lot more impactful in this game than Graves will. I don't like the Graves pick more for the fact it wasn't flexed. Okay, so NRG should have put more pressure on mid lane. They actually give up the tower there for very little. And they're probably going to lose first dragon here as well. But I mean, TSM have an early game, an earlier mid game, so it's understandable that NRG are falling this far behind. They've got very low front line though, so if it does turn into this kind of... I mean, Zilean's really nice into this team comp as well, because there's not really a backline threat against him, and he can always just ult people for dives, while also there's no like kind of big tank to take all the bombs. So anyone he pokes out with bombs is a high value target, so it's really nice. The only person is Yellow Star, but he can still do stuff. It's not like a Tam Kench or a Nautilus or something. So they're looking to rotate into bot lane here. NRG should be answering this with either top lane pressure or... yeah, they're looking for it top lane pressure. So there's the wards. They might lose a tier 2 bot, which is pretty bad. But yeah, they should get this top tower in response now. Shouldn't lose this. There's too few creeps. Okay, so they don't. So that's good for NRG. They don't lose that. That's pretty bad for TSM. They always seem to focus really hard on these tier 2 side towers, TSM. There's no need to do that. You need to push your vision up first, and you just need to strangle them out the game. And they're not doing that. They're like letting top lane kind of push, and they're letting kind of them get like kind of advantage in the top lane, get back into the game that way. So I mean, They had a tier 1 to rotate to, and they didn't. They decided to push a tier 2 on the bot side. Yes, they had a man advantage, but kind of like it's a tier 2, and you don't really have like a Tristana or kind of something that can zone and siege. So yeah, I don't really like that. Yeah. I'm not a big fan of the Graves top. I understand that it can be a really strong pick, but you then can't play like squishy jungler on top of that. I know she's building Cinderhulk, but she's still never gonna be tanky. Like, you're never gonna say, "Oh my god, we can't kill this Elise." It's gonna be like, "Let's focus her for 3 seconds and then she's dead." So yeah, I don't like that. I think you've got enough early. I just don't understand the Elise. I think you've got enough early game in the team comp as it is with your Caitlyn, your Graves, your Victor, your Braum. Like, you don't need the early game pressure from the Elise. The Rek'Sai would have been the better pick if you were going to pick a jungler there. But I mean, so TSM have very poor warding around the map. They really don't have any wards, even though they're looking to push down this tier 2. They're still looking to stay bot side. They still think it's laning phase. They're still looking for the advantage in the lane. And they should really be saying, what's our next objective? It's tier 1 top side. Let's go get that. Because if you take that top tower, okay, you then can start strangling out the map with vision, and they're just not doing that. You need to, once you get some tier 1s, you then need to strangle the map out with vision. So Impact's getting caught here, but Poppy, he's actually going to outplay that now. Yeah, he got rid of the high value. That's a really bad repel because he ended up with Graves getting caught. That's really bad. Well played there by Impact. But yeah, you see the only vision on the map is really from NRG, and NRG is slow on the draw here. Impact's going to save this tower. That's okay. Haunter goes too far there. Is he going to save the tower? He should save the tower. Go. No. Okay. Well, that's poor then by NRG. They're getting out rotated a lot, but I mean, TSM just don't have the vision in this game. They've got a few pinks up and a few kind of like round mid lane wards, but I mean, apart from that, they're really lacking in terms of kind of NRG just don't feel pressured at all. Like Caitlyn and Braum just kind of sitting there farming, like Victor doing Victor things. You can't expect more from Victor. He already got his tower, which was really good. But now they're doing nothing with that pressure from the mid tower being down. In fact, I'd say NRG are probably like doing better at this point in the game. They've lost 2 more towers, but that like TSM's so early focused that you'd expect that to happen. So this is just what Victor does. Like, you can't expect more from a Victor. He's not gonna like, he's not gonna carry 1v5. So I mean, but TSM need to push their wards up. They need to have pinks going into the river, and they need to have green wards going out of the river. Or what they call yellow wards now, I guess. Like kind of 3-minute wards going forward, and then forward from that. While your blue trinkets kind of littering your behind and your exit paths and things. And they're just not really doing this. Caitlyn is level 9 and does not have a blue trinket. That's really bad. Oh, very sorry. So, what's going on here? So Zillion's still just scaling up, and he's managed to get a Rod of Ages, and he's managed to get Pen Boots. And here comes Impact. Really, that's a really good flash. The victory not doing much. I mean, and then the Janna disengage. This is why Janna's such a good pick into their team comp, because TSM's going to look to throw everything at you. And Janna's like, they've got the engage to match it, while they also got great disengage, and they've got great kind of peel and poke, and it's just like the Janna just rounds it off so nicely. That, like, what Janna also did was Janna also completely nullified the Elise, because at least early game. The only lane she could gank was Poppy, so that was really good. And then here comes the re-engage by the that's mispositioning there by double left. So yeah, so the re-engage there was brilliant with the TP behind, and TSM could never do that because, I mean, they just never had any wards in front of them, and that's what you need, and that's what NRG had, and that's what TSM didn't have, was they didn't have any wards in front of them. All their wards are defensive around the mid lane, and they should be looking to forward their advantage, and instead they're just kind of turtling up when there's nothing. They're not really behind. They shouldn't be turtling. They're the sort of pink wards and the sort of ward placements that I'd put when I was you know, kind of, oh, you're 2k behind. Yeah, Bjergsen's just here on his own. He's dead. Really great dive. And they do not get the Janna. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, so they're going to look to try and take the mid here. But only Lucian can really take tower, so I don't think they're going to get it. Let's see how much damage this bomb does. Oh, he dodges it. Okay, that's smart. So that's also another thing what I don't like about TSM's comp. There's no kind of mad sort of big kind of, like, you don't have like a kind of a go button with, like, you know, you don't have a sivir. Oh, you don't have something, so they're just going to disengage you at every point. Like, there's no kind of real. It's like relying on a Gnar with a flash. There's no Trundle pillar. There's no kind of zone. There's not. It's just kind of, you're kind of relying on a cocoon, and that's still just going to get disengaged by Zilean, by it's just not a great comp. Now TSM are looking to try and take the dragon and get their second buff, which is more just taking the first buff away from NRG, but they need to be careful here that they don't lose a mid tower off the rotation. Sorry about that. They might lose mid tower off this, because you don't want to fight in chokes against this NRG team with the Poppy, with the Janna, with the Zilean. So they've got a lot more zone, NRG, and here we go, in goes the Poppy, and yeah, they just blow him up with the bombs. This is what I mean about the zone, like, you can't go anywhere close to this Zilean. He's just going to throw bombs at you. This is what I mean about taking towers. I speak about a lot with zone and counter engage and things. You need, like, the zone and the stuff to get people off the towers. Poppy's just going ham and cheeses, and there's another bomb. Yeah, the bombs. Just like, this is what I mean. Like, you can't get close to the Zilean, so his zone of influence is so big around these towers, and there's nothing to kind of. There's no real engage to kind of. The way you counter this is by engaging, but with the Janna and with the Poppy, you've got the disengage, which allows you to do this. This is great rotations here, and they've got the kind of the ward coverage and things. Do they have the ward coverage? No, but they've got like the Rek'Sai, which allows them to see any kind of potential, like, flanks coming. So they end up losing so much there. Can he get out? Poppy, yeah. And that's basically what Zilean brings to this team comp. Like, you can dive, you'll never die with his ultimate. So someone will just take all the tower and just die, and then it will reset, and then everyone will be like, oh my god, like, we can tower dive again. And you've got like a full health Poppy or something. It's really crazy. Well, also, it can disengage, and it just zones. And this is the big thing. This is the big point. Like, they can't move. It's such a long stun, and then they just get collapsed upon. So I mean, and then the Janna ult, and this is the Zilean. The Zilean ult just saves his life, and he's at half health, and he's a big tank. So this is what I was talking about. Like, there's no zone. Like, there's a Victor, but you need, like, Victor, and you can't just rely on Victor for all your zone. I don't like Caitlyn for zone. She has to spend too much time setting up, and it's too delayed, and it's not just like a 10-second cooldown. So I think things like I actually think Varus is a very underrated pick, mid and more AD carry underrated. I think he fits into poke comps very well. I think he allows some flex with Corki, and I think he can be played in AD carry as well as he can be played in mid lane, like, if not better, in my opinion. So NRG can just zone them off the towers here. They've got vision. Like TSM actually have decent vision, and they can maybe flank with a TP when it's up now. But yeah, again, this is the problem with the Graves as well. The Graves isn't like a flank kind of like, oh my god, here comes the Graves, where you think with, oh my god, here comes the Poppy or something like that. Like it's not going to kind of zoom out of nowhere. It's not Quinn. You know, it's not kind of, you're not thinking, oh my god, here comes the thing, and then this Poppy can dive all she wants. She's completely safe because Zillion ult. That's what I mean. And now they're just completely zoned, and Poppy gets away. So Zillion not only managed to zone a whole team off the Poppy, he managed to save her with the ultimate, and they could dive freely. And now they just need to play around the Zillion ult and the bombs, and they should win the game. They just need to strangle TSM out with better vision control. Visual denial, that's not a word. Vision denial is more important here than getting vision, because you make the enemy team have to come out and play, and that's so dangerous when you have no vision of what's going on into something like Poppy, into a Lucian, into a Rek'Sai, into a Zillion. So they need to focus here on getting pink wards down around where TSM want to put vision, and they need to control the vision around this Baron now, because TSM actually have the vision control at the moment with their pinks. So NRG should all have a pink ward here. You shouldn't have bought that ruby crystal. You should have bought not a sapphire crystal. You should buy a pink ward here. They've got double sweepers. Yeah, they're focusing on the vision denial. Triple sweepers actually, so that's not bad. But they need to then buy pink wards to compensate, and Poppy should be buying a pink ward there. I actually quite like going for the Sightstone, and they're going to get the Zillion. No, he's going to ult himself. And then here comes the re-engage. That's some huge ass shield. That's what I mean. Like, you can never really pick anyone against a Zillion. He's really counter pick as well. Oh, Bjergsen's kind of on his own. Okay, they're going to get out rotated here a little bit by TSM. But there's no front line to kind of dissuade NRG from just diving in with the Poppy and the Rek'Sai. While NRG have the Janna and the Poppy to dissuade any sort of engage. Looking to just get the vision around the Baron here, TSM. So half the TSM just don't seem to be on the same page either. They really need to work on their communication as a team. They just seem to be very kind of all over the place with their calls, and no one really on the same page. So what's going to go on? I think NRG here should. They've got vision control around the dragon, around the Baron. Sorry, they need to just stop the third dragon here, because it gives TSM a win condition and they delay the game. And they need to start strangling out TSM's little vision they've put down on the map. They need to get rid of these pinks. They need to put some ring of wards around, like around here. They need to like ring vision around here. Put pink wards up about here, which just strangles out all of TSM's vision around the map and enables them to not get flanked upon. That's like, if someone's going for a siege comp, you need to pick something that has kind of hard engage flank potential, or you'll lose the game. So something like a Fiora, something like, you know, a Gnar even. Gnar's not the best, but he's good at it. Like Rumble. The Rumble's not the greatest at the moment, but he would fit into that kind of thing. You just need someone who can TP, drop something, and like a fight starts and you've melted their backline by half, and you know, that kind of thing. Because otherwise they're just going to spend years on top of you. This is just going to blow up his health bar. Yep. Okay, so but the tanks of NRG here can just, there's no tank threat from TSM, so, and they can just zone them off the fight, and they always know that with the Zillion ult and the Poppy ult, that they can just do whatever they want basically. How would TSM win this game? TSM need to flank, and they need to get some vision down to be able to flank. and they just can't, like, they can't kill anyone because the front line's too big and no one's built to kill a front line basically. There's the Victor is very nice that he can actually get through to the back line from the front line. Yellow Star's way out of position there. He has to burn his flash. So I mean, how to put it? Like they have to flank, but they just don't have a flanking potential really. So yeah. NRG are going to go on the Baron here. And Rek'Sai comes in for the flank, trying to keep the front line busy. Poppy's coming in as well. They're trying to take down Yellow Star. Okay, so they take down Yellow Star. This is their front line's gone, so they can just walk up to bar Victor, like blowing people up through the front line. They can just run up to people now, and they should have the Zilean ult. Yep, there's the Zilean ult on the Poppy. OP. No, it's not OP at all. You just need to play around it. You need to flank. You need to have some sort of assassin. They didn't do either of that, and they just allowed the Zilean. They just allows the Zilean to do whatever the hell he wants. Oh, that's really, he duped back into that. That's so unfortunate. That's amazing. But yeah. So they take the Baron here, and now they just need to strangle the game out and split push, and use their flank, basically. Zilean should be split pushing with his well, Zilean can't really split push. I wouldn't put Zilean on the split push because Victor can just wave clear the 4 for days, and Zilean can get flanked upon. So you're just gonna have to group and siege here. You've got better zone. So Yellow Star's just completely out of position here. And they managed to take down the so they've taken down like the big barrier in front of them, and this is what I mean about Elise. Like, she's never going to be tanky, so she can't really stop the kind of the pressure and the forwardness that, like, it's not a Tam Kent, just not a Nautilus, it's not something like that. So yeah, can't really burrow underneath. Like, Rek'Sai can at least burrow and knock people up and kind of make the fight go thing. Once Elise has blown a cocoon, she just kind of stands around the fight and does some stuff. So they're strangling out the vision here. It's really nice kind of vision control here by NRG. How would TSM just the comp isn't really built to withstand the siege. Like, they have the Victor, but that's really it. They have no kind of way of kind of breaking the siege apart from just they can resist it, but they can't really break it with a flank because they've got nothing to flank. So they've got a ward here. NRG would be really smart to put their pink wards around that entrance. Okay, so this is what I mean. Like, they can just dive them, and they've got Zilean, and they've got the they don't even need Zilean at the moment. Zilean's in top lane, isn't he? Yeah. So they've just got enough pressure on the towers now to be able to dive because they've got a big enough of a front line, and TSM just don't have the answer to that. So they take the inhibit, and they should probably close out the game with this because they've got Baron up creeps. Yeah, and Victor was off shoving in mid. So this is what I mean. They only have one form of wave clear, and that had to split push. So and NRG win the game. That was a really nice, well played game by NRG. They completely outplayed TSM around the map. TSM had the early advantage, but then didn't push it hard enough. They didn't really know what to do when the mid tower was down. They didn't really push in the game, and that was their bad. They could have won the game if they'd gotten more of an advantage, but they didn't. So, you know, well played NRG. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I'm really hoping to do more of these. I should have a video uploaded tonight with all the drafts from NA, and I hope to have another one uploaded maybe tomorrow from week 3 of EU. Hoping to do that every week. So if you like that idea, please comment below, and remember to subscribe, follow me on Twitter, all that lovely good stuff. And I will see you for my next live stream or maybe my next video. See you later, guys.